Wait, so you like concerts, podcasts, and music, and you don't listen to Concerts That Made Us podcast? Oh man, you're missing out. You've got to head over there straight away. They have interviews with the best up and coming bands, as well as some famous ones thrown in the mix too. And don't even get me started on the concert stories. Oh man, are they wild. That's Concerts That Made Us podcast. New episodes every Thursday on all podcast players.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Cognitive Discourse here on YouTube. On today's episode, we are going to be doing another Libs of TikTok. I had such a great response to the last one that I did that I figured I'd do another one since you guys seem to like those. So let's go down this crazy rabbit hole once again.
My name is Professor Lionel Longlegs. My pronouns are they, fair, fairs, it, and they, them is just fine. So if you wanted to refer to me, you would say Faye is a drag storyteller. It loves to read, and some of their favorite books are Where the Wild Things Are, and From the Stars in the Sky to the Fish in the Sea. And I have been reading with Drag Storyteller, with Drag Story Hour, for a year and a half. And my drag character is a drag thing that can be anything in the world. Today I'm space. A lot of times I'm a notebook or a...
Okay, folks, we're going to start off by just saying again, mental health needs to be talked about. This person definitely isn't a sane individual. I don't understand why people would feel comfortable having this type of individual around their children. This is a very interesting individual.
Hi everyone, this is just a friendly reminder that if a fat person is talking about their own experience with fat phobia, their own experience with their body, with their fat body, their larger body, their plus size body, whatever they fucking want to call it, that when a fat person is talking about their own shit, their own experience, whatever the fuck it is, that's not an invitation for thin people to insert themselves in a conversation that's not about them. Just so you know.
So, what I'm gathering here is this person is fat. They know they're fat. They don't want to do anything about changing the fact that they're fat. And they don't want to hear you calling them fat. They don't want the reality of, hey, you have the ability to change that. If you want to change it. If you don't. But again, to get upset when people are talking to you about that stuff is kind of dumb. Again, I was overweight. I was 260 pounds this time last year. I'm down to 185 now. I've never felt better. I look a lot better. My clothes, I'm having to buy new shorts and stuff because I'm running out of all my basketball shorts don't fit me anymore. But it was a life choice that I made. Again, I didn't care when people called me fat either. Didn't bother me. But I did acknowledge the fact that I was unhealthy and it wasn't a great way to live. And for me, as a father, I have little ones. I want to be here as long as I possibly can to be in their lives and grow with them. So to get offended at somebody calling you fat when you know you're fat, or a skinny person inserting themselves, you could probably learn something from them, especially if it's somebody who is healthy and who takes their health seriously and are in good shape. Take some pointers from them instead of looking at it like a personal attack. Listen to what they're saying, understand where they're coming from. What I find funny about people like this is they always want us to understand where they're coming from, but they don't want to hear it from anybody else, especially if it's outside of their echo chamber. They don't want to hear the facts and the truth. Lady, you're fat. You probably down a bunch of soda. You probably eat a bunch of crap you don't need to eat. You're probably eating stuff that is covered in oils, soybean oil and canola oil and peanut oil, all the oils. That's one of the things that I learned in my journey to being a lot healthier is that a lot of the crap you buy at the store, even some of the stuff that they say is good for you and healthy for you, actually isn't. It's a marketing tool. So definitely do your research, and if you're talking to somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to that type of stuff, especially nutrition, listen. And it doesn't hurt to get outside and walk a little bit. Doesn't hurt to stay active. It's not a bad idea if someone's telling you that stuff, especially if somebody is skinny. The funny thing is these fat type of individuals get upset because they get discriminated against because they're fat. Yet they do terms like that when they refer to other people, skinny people, and like they segregate themselves. It's all bogus to me in clown world shit.
Because when a marginalized person, yes, because fat people are
Oh,
marginalized. If you
shut
don't
up.
fucking understand that, then look at intersectionality and the different intersections.
Shut
Because
up.
body size is one of them. Back to the
This is one of those things where I have a feeling you like to stay fat because you're lazy, you don't want to change. And two, you like pulling the victim card. You like to be on that side of the fence for some reason. The victim mentality is so huge in people nowadays. I mean, it's you see it in race, you see it in body sizes, you see it in gender now. I mean, you see whatever they can do to victimize themselves and separate themselves and try to be unique. It's so annoying.
point, it's not an invitation for thin people to just enter into the space of fat people to talk about themselves. No.
Also, I want to point out these are the type of individuals that if somebody who was overweight decides to make a change in their life, these are the type of people that turn on them. You're not one of us anymore. Like that tribal mentality, even boiled down to just fat people. I find it hilarious. Adele's a perfect example of that. Look at Adele. She was overweight. She did something about it, and I know that there was at the time when she first came out about being skinny and she showed herself publicly. I remember there was a little bit of backlash behind that, and um, again, it's these type of people who are doing that type of stuff. So yeah, they're goofy.
No offense, but this isn't fucking about you. And if you think it is, that's your own fucking projection. Go to therapy and let fat and marginalized people talk.
Yeah, but what are y'all talking about? You guys are just again echo chamber. What you want to hear is, "Oh, you're beautiful, queen, slay. You're so beautiful. You're fat and beautiful." Or you're not fat. Be comfortable in your own skin and da 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 da. Like it's all this like fake bullshit that has no real substance. And then when you have somebody who's like, "No, this is not okay. You should look into a healthier way of living," you want to get pissed off and you want to label that individual a certain way. Fuck off.
I'm changing my pronouns a little bit. So for the he, she alternative, instead of pay, it's paint. So now it's paint, paints, paint self. I just think it's easier and it flows better.
I'm going to be.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens to the younger generation when they grow up to these goofy clowns. They're filling them with all this nonsense. This right there, that's attention seeking. That made no sense. You're looking for attention and you're trying to be unique. You're trying to be different. This is the same thing that I went through when I was in high school. I was a quote goth kid. That's the group of people that I typically hung around with when I was in high school. I had the piercings, I wore the black clothes, I painted my fingernails black, I did all that crazy stuff. And what I found out very early in life, and what I found out was hilarious, was the fact that the group of people that I hung out with, although I loved them and they were great people, a lot of them did it because they wanted to be different. They wanted to be unique. The funny part about it was is we had so many goth kids at that time. This was in the early 2000s, so this is when new metal was a thing, and bands like Cold Chamber were really popular, and the look that Cold Chamber had was very popular. The funny thing about it was these kids wanted to be unique and wanted to stand out, yet they all looked the same. Now, I didn't have the trip pants because I couldn't afford them, and I didn't have the fishnets and all that stuff. I didn't go full out. I would just wear black band T-shirts. I had black jeans that I would wear, black boots, and then I had long hair, of course, and then I had my piercings. But I remember looking around one day and being like, everybody, all these people are talking about wanting to be unique, yet they all look the same. They're all still their tribalism is still within that community. So funny enough, there's a thing, and if you know me in person and you're watching this video, vouch for me down in the comments if you can. But I wanted to be actually unique in high school. I wanted to separate myself from the pack and from the herd. And so I literally, in freshman year, I remember putting on a Walmart vest. I had a friend, my mom's friend worked for Walmart at the time. And I asked her if she had a smock that I could have. And she goes, "Yeah, why do you want one?" I was like, "I just want to wear it to school. I think it'd be funny." And she was like, "Okay." No one got it. No one understood what I was doing. I didn't even really understand what I was doing. I just wanted to wear it because no one else had one. Funny enough, I wore it long enough. I think in my second year of wearing it, I wore it through my whole high school career. My second year of wearing it, there were some kids that tried to do it as well, and I wasn't a part of that. I didn't care if they wore it or not. I wasn't, the gatekeeper of Walmart vests at school. But I do remember people saying like I was known as the Walmart guy. Like I hung around with a bunch of different groups of people. I wasn't just with the goth kids. Also hung out with some, the kickers and some of the jocks and some of the little gangster dudes, all that stuff. I was cool with everybody in school. And I remember people coming up to me and being like, "Hey man, there was 2 kids that tried it, but I remember the first kid that tried it, they were like, 'There's this kid walking around trying to wear a Walmart vest like you.'" And I just remember replying going, "Okay, whatever, that's cool." And they're like, "No, man, he shouldn't wear it. You're the only guy who can wear it, blah 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 blah." So there was that. But anyway, the point of my story was that when I was hanging out with a group of people who wanted to be unique, and that's how I see a lot of these people, except these people are freaks of nature. They're trying so hard to be different, yet in the end they're all the same. And so they're just like grasping at straws now. Paint and paint self. Like, come on, man. That's retarded.
Be teaching you how to use prince, princess pronouns and sentences. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use shark, sharks pronouns and sentences. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use flower, flowers pronouns and sentences. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use wolf, wolves pronouns and sentences. Today.
So are you noticing that they're getting weirder and weirder? Like, let let's just go back to he, him, she, her. Like, this is retarded. This is getting out of control. And I know some of you guys are going to get offended by me using the R word, but come on, man. This is retarded. Okay.
I'm going to be teaching you how to use paint, paints, pronouns, and sentences. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use.
Well, she just used paint. So I guess the previous person that we just saw, since they want to be so unique, they're probably going to have to change it now because she's showing you how to use that properly. So you want to be unique. Remember, you want to be different. So you're going to have to change your pronouns now.
Cat, cats pronouns. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use that, that's pronouns in sentences. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use the, ver, viz pronouns. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use thon, thons pronouns in sentences. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use they, them pronouns in sentences. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use shroom, shrooms pronouns.
So based on the fact that she's wearing the same clothes in some of these, I feel like she's just making this up and she's just making as much content as she possibly can. She don't give a fuck about the community. She's making content, and that's the thing is that there's a market for everything. What I'm doing right now, there's a market for everything. You guys watching me talk about these dodos, she's doing the exact same thing. She doesn't give a rat's ass about her community and this LGBT crap and the pronoun stuff. She's just flat out making content to make content. And you're going to have those individuals. It's just, I don't know. I find it very ironic that these people also just preach love and acceptance. Yet, if there's love and acceptance, then accept who you are and stop trying to make things confusing just to be confusing. Like it's ugh.
With The Little Mermaid, can we also just mention that just from a scientific perspective, okay, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have someone with darker skin who lives deep in the ocean.
What's up? Also, I just want to point out I saw this on a previous YouTube video that I was watching, but you guys do your own independent research on this if you want. But I watched this video where they were talking about characters that are being color palette swapped. So like the white characters being turned into black characters. The majority of those characters are redheads. So again, do your research. Ariel's your starting point, but she was a white girl that was a redhead, and she got swapped into a black person. There's a lot of Starfire was another one I think that they had pointed out, but there's a lot of them. If you start going down that rabbit hole, it's pretty hilarious. Scientific fucking perspective. It's a story about a mermaid. Those don't even exist. There's an octopus lady that steals people's voices and a singing Jamaican crab. Who gives a fuck? Obviously, you do. Edge has really gone off the edge there. He was losing his mind. Yeah, this one, I've seen this one before. That's a male teacher who is pretending to be a woman and just, again, extreme, man. Mental health, dude. It's a real issue. Like, really, did you have to
This is
have
just a
do you have to have fake boobs that big? Like, seriously? Come on, man. Like, people just be like drawing attention to themselves, and I feel like it's also to the point where you're going that extreme because you want somebody to say something so you can label them a bigot and a Nazi. They love throwing those around, and a homophobic and a transphobe, and they love to be able. They're looking for those reactions, and that's a prime example. You want to go extreme so you can get extreme reactions.
daily reminder that your pronouns should be respected in any healthcare setting. Whether you are
False, you're a doctor. We're supposed to be able to trust you. And the fact that you bend the knee to this crap makes me not trust you as a doctor. And your professional opinions and a professional view on things gets muddied when you bend the knee to this type of crap. Because this shit's not right. You know there's only two fucking genders.
transgender or non-binary, whatever you tell the healthcare team your pronouns are exactly what every single member of the healthcare team should be referring to you as. Just because you're in a healthcare setting, and even if you're presenting with a problem that is related to a body part associated with your gender assigned at birth, does not mean that your pronouns should not be respected.
Yeah, no. There's a great video. If I can find it, I'll put it in here. But there's a great video.
Boy, I'm a girl.
You're transgender?
Yes.
No, Quinn has XY chromosomes like Jared and me, not XX like you. Science says he's male.
No, Quinn has gender dysphoria. Her assigned gender is not the one she identifies with. She's mismatched, Dr. Murphy.
But biologically...
Other than biologically, how do you know you're supposed to be a boy?
Your question doesn't make sense. I'm not supposed to be anything. I am a boy. Biologically, that's it.
Could be acute appendicitis.
Murphy, get imaging to confirm.
Quinn doesn't have appendicitis. He has testicular cancer.
She.
I had a mother of a patient who was very lovely and totally respected her child's they-them pronouns. And when I confirmed that those were in fact the child's pronouns, the mother said yes, but we totally understand if you need to refer to them as their biological sex, given that we're in a healthcare setting and they're presenting with these certain issues. And I said, no. I said, what we are treating has nothing to do with the child's gender identity, and their pronouns will be respected, so you don't have to worry about that. And when we would round on the patient, whenever somebody would use the wrong pronouns, I would respectfully correct them. One good thing that came out of this
Yeah, I'd find a new doctor.
is that my supervisor actually asked me to give a talk to the rest of the healthcare team about transgender and non-binary patients in the healthcare setting.
I doubt that happened. If it did, everybody in that office should lose their jobs and lose their licenses, because again, you guys are doctors. We should be able to trust you guys. And the fact that you bend the knee to this stuff says more about you guys and what you're willing to do and not do. And it shows what you actually stand for. And it's not health at all, whether it be physical or mental. When I say that people like to make in the alphabet mafia like to make their sexuality their entire personality, their entire existence, this is what I'm talking about. I mentioned this before, not on these videos, but I mentioned it in past episodes of Cognitive Discourse, the audio only ones. But I mentioned this before where I met a guy who was a rapper and he happened to be gay, and he got upset because we were talking about it. And now I mean, his rap career, his entire rap career is wrapped around this idea of him being a homosexual. And he goes very extreme, very outlandish with it. Again, you want to do that by all means. Like if that's how you want to sell you and your product and your brand, by all means. I'm not hating on that. But he didn't understand what I was trying to tell him. We were having that conversation. I basically told him there's two pathways that you can take this. You can be a rapper who happens to be gay, or you could be known as the gay rapper. Me personally, if I was a homosexual, I would rather be known as the rapper who happens to be gay. What I mean by that is he was a talented individual. His early songs were about his battle with addiction and real life shit, real stuff that he was going through, and real trials and tribulations and the triumphs of those. And he also plays music, like he can play guitar and stuff, and he's a talented person. So for me, I feel like that should be at the forefront. You as an artist should come first. Most people aren't going to give a shit that you're a homosexual, but he rather put the fact that he's a homosexual in front of his art. And that's what I mean by he made that his entire identity. He made that his personality. He made that his brand. Again, nothing wrong with that. I just am cut from a different cloth. I don't give a fuck about what people's opinions are on my sexuality, on who I choose to sleep with. I want you to like me for my art. And I'm a musician myself too. So as I said, if I happen to be gay, I would rather people know me for my art than know me as, oh yeah, it's the gay guy that does music. Perfect example, Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon's the opposite of this guy. Tim Dillon is a comedian, and I had no idea Tim Dillon was gay until I heard about it on a podcast. And other podcasters mentioned it. And I was like, oh shit, he's actually gay. He doesn't come off gay. He doesn't act gay. He doesn't make gay his personality. He is Tim Dillon, a comedian who happens to be gay. And I have no problem with that. He's a comedian. He's funny. He's an articulate individual. He's interesting to listen to and speak. And the fact that he's gay, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what he decides to do behind closed doors. You know what I mean? So I hope I made that clear enough. Sometimes when I do mention this, some people get very confused or they still try to defend it. And again, like I said, I have no problem with it. Me personally, I enjoy individuals that put their brand, the art, whatever it is that they're doing at the forefront and keep their personal shit in the back burner instead of making their sexuality their entire brand, their entire personality, the entire existence of their being. That to me is just, it's annoying.
Hey everybody, I'm the gender doula. If you need a letter either for starting hormones or for surgery, or if you can get one letter but you actually need 2 letters for surgery, I have a service for you. This is Gallup. It's thegallup.org. That's THEGALAP.org. It's a letter writing project where various practitioners sign on and they say that they're willing to provide letters, and then you have the opportunity to contact them and get a letter set up for free. Now, I have not personally used this service, but I have quite a few clients who have, and they've all been quite satisfied. This is a great way to avoid the gatekeeping that comes from the letter and to get your letter regardless of your financial situation.
So I don't know a lot about this stuff. And if you're within the community and you're watching this and you haven't turned it off yet and you're not raging mad, do you mind clarifying this for me? Because what I'm gathering here is these type of letters are letters like he's not mentioning it, but I have a feeling this is for minors. And if it is, this is exactly why people like me, a parent, can't align myself with you because you're doing shit like this, trying to go behind parents' backs so minors can make life altering decisions and you're trying to hide it from parents. If that's what this is, I disagree with this and I think this is evil and you, sir, are a piece of shit for promoting this. Again, I could be wrong, but from the way you're wording things and the way that this is being presented, that's what I'm gathering from it. And if it's different, please by all means comment and let me know. But I have a feeling that the majority of this that it's targeting is minors to be sneaky and do the shit behind their parents' back.
I hope that helps.
Here are some tips to help you learn your students' pronouns. Are you a boy or a girl? Here's what you can do instead. Here, I like to use a Google form or a Microsoft form or any other survey app that works for you. I've stopped asking what your preferred pronouns are, and instead I say what are your pronouns, because your pronoun is part of your identity and not just a personal preference. One of the very important questions I like to ask is, may I use these pronouns in front of your parents or guardians? The reason why is because students may feel comfortable around you or their peers, but they might not be ready to let their parents know which pronouns they are using.
This right here, this is exactly why I'm homeschooling my children. This right here infuriates me. I'm tired of these teachers going behind parents' back. This is not okay. This is not cool. And if my kids were in public school and you gave them this type of form, I'd show up to the school and make you eat it. This is not okay. This is exactly why you guys are getting the pushback that you're getting. Y'all want to try to make it sound like we're transphobic and all this bullshit and that your community is a target. No, you guys put that target on your back by doing crap like this. Again, leave children the fuck alone. It irritates me to no end. If you're an adult and you want to do this crap, by all means, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But the moment you start bringing children into it is when I'm going to start getting upset, and many like me are going to get upset, and we're going to get off the bench and we're going to get into the game. You don't like that we're in the game right now, and y'all try to muddy it up and make it seem like it's something else. But this is exactly why we're upset. Hiding shit from parents, making parents not the priority, and trying to teach kids that it's okay to lie and be sneaky behind their parents' back. That shit is not okay. They're my kids, not yours. Cut the bullshit.
And if a student uses different pronouns with you, their peers, or their parents, it's not your business to ask why. Using
Fuck you. I'm tired of this fucking manipulation, man.
their pronouns respectfully is a great way to start building that relationship.
I am worried about the Queen's death, and not because I care about that woman. I have no love for a white supremacist imperialist colonizer. But whenever the power structure of a country is disrupted, far-right groups will use this as a recruitment opportunity. They will use the collective mourning of the nation as a tool to normalize their rhetoric in the eyes of the public. And this can be very effective on people who might not be outright reactionary, but do have some kind of parasocial relationship with the monarchy. And as a trans person, the UK worries me. Because not only does it have a history of openly embracing
I love how she's talking about the monarchy and this and that. It's not and I want to make this very clear. I'm not conservative and I'm not liberal. There are things that I'm conservative about. There's things I'm liberal about. Here lately, I've been leaning more towards the right just because the left has completely lost their fucking minds. But the great thing about me not subscribing to tribalism is it allows me to see things a lot clearer with an unbiased opinion. I'm able to listen and formulate my opinions based on the facts that are given to me. And one of the things that I can tell you right now is the right is not pro-government, is not pro-monarchy. We want small government. We don't want the government in our fucking business. The bootlickers and the people who seem to align themselves with the government and funny enough, the irony is that they talk about eat the rich. They talk about all this shit, yet they're the ones that are helping fund and help those individuals. What they fail to realize is that, the LGBTQ, this alphabet mafia, they talk about being marginalized and all this crap and being the minority, yet they fail to realize that they have the mainstream media, they have corporations, they have Hollywood, and they have the Biden administration all in their corner. Yet this goober wants to talk about how the right is this and that, and we support that. Shut the fuck up.
Systemic transphobia. But the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, is a very loudly anti-trans politician. So
Good.
This is something that we have to be very conscious of. Pay attention to how they handle messaging for the next few weeks.
Yes, pay attention, because a lot of the stuff that's being, I know, especially here in the States, in Florida, for example, a lot of the shit that's being passed over there has nothing to do with adult trans and alphabet mafia. A lot of it's protecting kids. A lot of those bills that are going through are saying that kids aren't going to be allowed to do a lot of the transitioning stuff, which I agree with. Wait till you're a fucking adult to do that stuff. So again, it's not about you. It's about protecting kids. So get off your little fucking soapbox and understand what those bills actually are, and fucking actually read the fucking bills. How about that?
As much as I would like to be celebrating the demise of a fascist, there is always another one waiting behind.
I always find it funny too. They love using the term fascist, yet they don't realize that they're the actual fascists. I did a video on James Klug when he went to a university in Oregon. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on my channel. There's actual fascists in that video, and the funny thing is the people who are yelling and calling the people fascists are the actual fascists because they're the ones trying to shut down the dialogue. These people use terms to label individuals, and they don't realize they are actually that which they're labeling.
If I ever have to have an abortion, you bet I'm gonna have a fucking party. I'm like gonna have like cupcakes with like aborted fetuses drawn on them, lots of snacks, I'm gonna.
Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. People who want to be different and who want to be cool and edgy. That's exactly what this person's doing. You're murdering a child. You lack integrity. You lack accountability. You lack self-awareness. First of all, I don't think, I can't even say that because I'm not going to say that. What I will say is the fact that if you're going to do things that are going to get you into a position where you possibly could have a child, you can prevent that beforehand. To just have an abortion just because you think you're cool, you're just an evil sick fuck. And this putting this out there on the internet, it doesn't make you look cool. It doesn't make you look hip. It doesn't make you look extreme. It makes you look like a dumbass. And of course, I I hate that I grew up in a generation where the girls that I used to date colored their hair, because nowadays I see colored hair and I steer clear of those individuals because they're just evil, brainwashed zombies.
Come up with some sort of cocktail and call it the aborted fetus, and me and all of my friends are just gonna hang out, eat a bunch of yummy dead fetus themed food, get drunk, and have a great old time.
This is the type of person where I would say, okay, cool. Well, what if I was to grab a cat or a dog and they were pregnant and I decided to throw an abortion party for that animal, and we aborted those kittens or aborted those puppies? Would you have the same sentiment? Would you think it's murder? Because if you think that's murder, how come that's considered murder, but aborting a human fetus, a human child, is not? So there we have it, folks. There is the Libs of TikTok compilation part 2 here at the Cognitive Discourse. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry if I got a little heated, but these type of things definitely get under my skin. Used to not get under my skin that bad, but I'm just over it. We've been dealing with this crap for a few years now, and it seems to just keep getting worse and worse. But again, I think that honestly, this is just an internet thing. I haven't run into these weirdos in real life. I hope I never have to run into these individuals in real life, but they probably just don't leave their homes. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you have an opinion on this, go ahead and leave me a comment. If you'd like me to do more of these, let me know which ones that are good. If you have a particular compilation that you want to suggest to me, suggest it down to me in the comments and I'll give it a watch. I am enjoying this, and I want to also just thank everybody who watched the first one. It blew up in 2 days. I was over, I think, 500 views in 2 days. So it was just awesome. That may not seem like a lot, but coming from somebody who's been doing this for, I've been making stuff for about almost 3 years now across different platforms. And I do Brutal Block, and I do Basic Ass Dudes. I do voicing for the Haunted Abaddon, and I'm making all kinds of content across a bunch of different things. I've even done bass covers on one of my YouTube channels, doing all that type of stuff, and finally seeing a video gain some traction was very, very interesting and very rewarding for me, if you will. So I want to thank everybody who watched that video, everybody who liked, everybody who commented, everybody who shared that video and continue to like, comment, and share that video. It means the world to me. It makes me feel like I'm not just doing this shit by myself in a room, but I'm actually sharing the time with you guys. And I thank you for allowing me to, be a part of your lives, and that you take time out of your day to watch me and listen to my opinions, and like I said, comment and have discussions down with me in the comment section. I really do appreciate all of that, and I hope that it grows, and know that no matter how big this channel gets or any of my other channels get, I'm not going to change, and I'll continue to have conversations with you guys, and let you guys in on my opinions, and just be as genuine as I possibly can be. I don't like fakeness. I don't like these type of people who are fake. Going back to the fat one, people who are telling her what she wants to hear. I'm not a fan of that. Never have been and never will be. But yeah, if you guys are interested in anything else that I do, you can check out Brutal Block. We do have a YouTube channel here. The YouTube channel is different from the radio show. The YouTube channel is a channel where I just react to bands that have already either been on the show or bands that I want to feature on the show in the future. And I break down their songs and who they are as a band, and kind of give my opinion on them in more depth. Because on the radio show, I'm just playing bands. And on the YouTube channel, I wanted to be able to highlight some of those bands that I personally like and really kind of dive into why I like them and what makes them awesome in my eyes. So that just type in Brutal Block. I do spell Brutal Block Brootal, not brutal with the U, but with two O's. And then also check out the radio show. It is on Super Cool Radio. It's streaming on all major platforms. So you can check that out. Type in Brutal Block or type in Super Cool Radio on Spotify, on Apple, iTunes, whatever have you, and check out the radio show. If you're a metal fan, I'm sure you're gonna love that because we play metal bands that you probably haven't heard of, and our entire goal of that show is to hopefully play bands that you find interesting enough to add to your own personal playlist. That's our goal. We're building a great community there. I've ran into some really awesome bands. I've been able to talk to a lot of really cool dudes in music and girls in music. And yeah, my networking on that has been blowing up. And I've been having so much fun doing that. Not only talking to the minions, our fans, but also just being able to talk to bands and interview bands. We also have a new segment on there that we've been doing called the Monthly Mayhem Roundup. And it's basically I have bands send me flyers, and we read the flyers on the show and promote the shows for whatever month that I'm doing it. So like we're coming into July. I'm now doing Monthly Mayhem for July. So we're showing off all the shows that are going on in July across the US, across the world. So if you happen to be in that area and want to support a band, that's the whole point of it. But the great thing is on that too is we ended up getting so many flyers for the month of July that I normally do like a 2 to 3 minute segment once a month. And now we're going to be doing a segment. That segment's going to be going on for July for every episode because we just had so many flyers. So we're sharing it every episode for the month of July. And if it continues that way in August and so on and so forth, we'll continue doing that too. But just watching the growth of everything that I'm doing is very humbling and it's very exciting. And I'm definitely in a great state of mind. As annoyed and irritated as I sound watching these, know that I'm in a good headspace and I'm in a positive mood and that I'm very excited to see where everything's gonna end up. And I'm really having fun doing this stuff. And it wouldn't be possible without folks like you guys watching, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, all that stuff. It really helps, and it helps bust me into the algorithm, especially with the content that I'm covering. I do get suppressed, even as small as I am, I still get suppressed. So you guys liking, commenting, and sharing definitely helps. Watching the videos all the way through definitely helps. So I appreciate you guys, and hopefully we will watch these numbers grow together. So I want to thank you for tuning in to the Cognitive Discourse. I am going to be probably switching up the show. I used to release the audio only format every Friday. I kind of fell off on that. And now that I'm doing the YouTube videos the way I'm doing them now, I think I'm just going to start trying to drop as much content as I possibly can. I may rethink the schedule, but for right now, just subscribe if you want to stay in the loop. Hit that bell because I'm going to try to make as much content as I possibly can and really capitalize on the fact that I'm now getting views. And then, later on in life, if I need to slow down, try to make a schedule and let you guys know. But for right now, I'm just going to try to pump out as much as I can between all of my shows. Like I said, I do multiple things. So I will try to pump out as much content as I possibly can. So keep an eye out on that. And again, thank you so much. So, with that being said, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week, have a safe weekend, and until next time.